The reason I used that, I went back to show you in no part that God used a lamb for a sacrifice. A sacrifice, a lamb didn't mean that this lamb, which was in this vehicle, was not a God thing. But the fire came down from heaven and consumed these pieces, which was mixed. Letting you know that these three sacrifices, which God was using to sacrifice, to use a token of blood sacrifice, was Jesus and his two witnesses, who was going to be John the Baptist and Elijah. And they was going to be reincarnated and born on this side. It's telling you they was caught up. They was transformed when the furnace came down and consumed these. Then you know that they was going to be caught up. Let's go to Deuteronomy here in verse chapter 34, where Moses was caught up. Verse 1. No, let me back up a little bit. Back up a little bit. Let's go to Exodus chapter 29, verse 1. And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto me, them, to hallow them, to minister unto me in the priest's office. Take me one young bullock and 2 rams without blemish, and unleavened bread, and cake unleavened, tempered with oil, and wafers on the wafer. I'm going to stop right there because you go to St. Matthew's 13:33, and it will tell you the significance of this because I don't have that much time. Let me go here to Deuteronomy, where, in other words, only thing I was trying to show you, that God didn't use no lamb or no eagle as no sacrifice. Because what I was going to show you, the Antichrist. So what it was, God consumed them, took them up, the fire came through and took them. Now, let me show you what happened here in Moses. Show you that this was one of the sacrifices that God didn't use no space shuttle to take Moses up. Deuteronomy. And Moses went up, Deuteronomy chapter 34, and Moses went up from the plains of Moab unto the mountains of Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho. And the Lord showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan, and all Naphtali, the land of Ephraim, and Manasseh, and all the land of Judea unto the utmost sea, and the south, and the palms of the valley of Jericho, the city of palms. 3. Unto Zoar. And the Lord said unto him, This is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it unto you. He didn't say nothing about Ishmael. He didn't say nothing about Ishmael. To thy seed I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab according to the word of the Lord. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab over against Beer. But no man knoweth of his suffering until this day. And Moses 100. I'm going to stop right there because I'm running out of time. I don't have that much time. That's where Moses was caught up. Nobody found his body. Where he buried him in the spirit. It's called Moses up. It's called the spirit of Elijah. That one king, set 2 king in chapter 2, verse 8. And Elijah took a manus and wrapped it together, verse 8, and smote the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, so that they too went over on dry ground. And it came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elijah said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing, more or less. If thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee, but if not, it will not be so. And it came to pass as they still went and went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind unto the heaven. And Elisha saw, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof, and he saw him no more. And he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in pieces. Okay, what I'm trying to establish here, once you go to St. Matthew's, you'll see where Jesus was transfigured. He appeared as Moses, as St. Matthew chapter 17, Holy Bible. He appeared once again when he was here as Elijah and Moses. And then he transformed himself. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, when you go back to Ezekiel chapter 1, where he spoke concerning the space shuttle, the loud who was this had to be the Antichrist. This had to be the son of perdition. Every time you see God took people's stuff, they transformed themselves. But the space shuttle is not the works of God, because God never made a space shuttle to take nobody up. He always transformed himself into a spirit-like manner and took them up, Moses and Elijah. And when he came down, Jesus came down, and he talked to his disciples and took them up to the mountain and was transfigured. He transfigured himself where he can go out and come in. But here, the man knew that he didn't know what God knew. He took and created him a spacecraft. He had to create an environment first to give him an ability to go out into outer space and live up there in the flesh and return back in the flesh, because after death he cannot do nothing. So he did something that was not God. This how God knows him. So he went up there to rule. So what is this telling us? We say that Barack Obama is a black president leading the world. Is it? If he got the White House and is the president of the United States of America, and God's telling us that this man was going to go up on the brink of the earth and rule, then the man down here have no power over that man up there in the space station, because he abandoned the White House, but he's up there on the brink of the earth in a space station, taking his place up high out of harm's way, as it spoke of in the book of Habakkuk. Chapter 3, I believe it is, chapter 3. So he set his face, go to Habakkuk chapter 1 through 3, and read this here. He said he set his place on high where he couldn't be afflicted by all of these things. So this is the part where I'm telling you Bible prophecy fulfilling itself as we speak. Thank you.